I wanted to show y'all like a private jet getting ready to take off right over there. You see the little jet over there? It's got like about 5 windows on it. There's one coming in. See it? Beautiful. Perfect landing. Perfect. That one over there is gearing up to go. You hear it? So, here was what happened, right? What had happened was during the government shutdown, right? TSA was supposed to keep going to work, right? And they didn't. A lot of them was calling out sick. A lot of them was, upset because, they weren't getting paid. And they had to go around asking people to give them some time. They're federal employees. And, to them, that was, a prideful event that they had to suffer. Okay? And a lot of them didn't like that. Right? Because air controllers, they get paid pretty good money to do their job. Okay? They're still amongst the middle class. Right? So that's why one of the things that Trump had to tell them is like, look, if you don't go to work, you are going to get docked. And if you do go to work, you'll get a $10,000 bonus. And I know you guys are like, where are they going to get the $10,000 from? From the people that don't show up? Because there's always going to be people that don't show up. Right? All it takes is for one person not to show up, and they get furloughed. They get furloughed. Right? They don't have a job to come back to. Okay? And what they'll do is they'll divide the spoils of that person's salary out to other people. So, yeah. This is different for us. I like it because, it's pretty empty here. And then, I can be amused by watching, the jets come and go. And since I'm down here, I'm thinking I might want to go by and actually take a look at that private airline that's down here near Love Field. Because that was one of the things that I was thinking. At that time, I had 2 dogs, right? I had a poodle mixed and I had Snoopy girl, right? because the one thing that I was not thinking about doing was having them, you know, put in cargo space like they're just a piece of luggage. And that was one of the reasons why I went to like a private jet situation. You see how much, you see, you know, the requirements. And, you know, yes, they comply with the 6, you know, with the social distancing. However, you know, it was easier to comply with social distancing because it just wasn't a lot of people there. Like there is at big airports. Okay? Yeah, there it goes. You probably can't even see it taking off into the sky with this camera. So anyway, since I've been down here, I done seen about 6 jets take off. Right? There's one up there in the sky, and then there's another one taking off. So they trying to get us back on track, right? Because you know, usually about this time, you know, people are thinking about the holidays, being with family, and for a lot of people, you know, family is everything. It's everything. Not for everybody. Not for the nomads. Not for the introverts. But for other people, you know, it's everything. Have to come back to this part because I like it. I like it a lot. Come around. Somebody over there in a sleeping bag, reading a book in the bushes. Yeah, I want to go ride by that private jet place. Because last time I was there, they kind of had, you know, a brochure with their prices. And I'm thinking they might still have a brochure with their prices there. Come on. want to go back now, Snoopy? Hmm? You getting tired? Okay, come on. Let's go back. She's still trying to get at them passerbys. Come on. You better come on before I pick you up and carry you. You better come on, girl. Look at her. Come on. Look how big she's getting. My God. She's getting so big. Whew. So here come a plane. Here come a plane. I want to see if this plane is going to come over us. I think it is. Because it's lining up here. Lining up. It's lining up for the landing. Can you see it coming? Can you see it? It's coming. Huh? Oh. It's back over here. See it? Another one's following it right afterwards. You see it? Beautiful. Beautiful. That was fun. That was fun. It looked like it was so close because it was. It was so close. I wonder if that's the thing. I'm going to be taking a flight somewhere. Somewhere soon. Hold on. Okay. So that was nice. It got a little warm out there, 68 degrees. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna go by this airport that I was talking about, this private airport. And I think this private airport also has, I think they have a consignment for self-driving vehicles where their clients can be picked up and dropped off. By a self-driving vehicle, right? So literally these are for people who love their privacy. Privacy is like the most expensive thing on the planet. Okay? It's very expensive to have privacy. Right? So that's why, I'm not too optimistic if somebody was to tell me, I can have like a spot on their bed and a piece of the closet space, for my survival. And it's just like, I need more privacy than that. I have not been across this bridge, so we're gonna go across this bridge to see where it goes. La 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 some engines. This is the type of engine that I want to hear. I want to hear people getting the fuck out of here and new people coming in. Not some fucking car engine or somebody just riding up and down the street. Nope. Or motorcycle, right? Especially the fucking Hardys. Okay. So this is a beautiful excursion. Trucks down here, so maybe Kroger is their food supplier. Nice. It's nice to know. Signature Aviation. LAX airport system. And I guess one of the things that made me even think about, these private airlines was the fact that there was a private plane that crashed trying to take supplies over to Jamaica, because Jamaica suffered the Melissa hurricane really, really bad, and people was trying to get them some supplies. So I think they changed their name to aviation. So whoever owned the private airlines, because I know they used to be J something, like there was like 3 initials. So they must have sold to a corporation. It's probably what they did, is they sold to a corporation called Aviation. That kind of tripped me out was, sometimes these people, in the process of looking for, someplace to stay, that some of them, they will park at like a charging station, electrical charging station. They'll park there because they know it's somewhat safe, and they'll sleep. I don't know if they were just trying to get an hour worth of sleep, or an hour and a half worth of sleep, or 2 hours, because sometimes it could take like an hour. It could take like an hour or 2 hours, to get a full charge. Okay. Oh damn. Now I'm going back home during rush hour. But it's so worth it to get out in the sun, and the sun is not so hot that it's burning you up. Like right now it's 3:30, right? Yeah, it's 3:30 right now, and it's 69 degrees. So it's not quite real rush hour, but It feels like rush hour because there's a lot of people out here on the street. So must be some people getting off at 3 o'clock. So this is what I think they should do. They tried to do the 10-hour shifts, right? And people hate it. They thought, oh, it would be nice if we had, 4-day work weeks. It had, every weekend was a 3-day weekend, and we could do this and do that, right? Well, I'm starting to believe that was not a good idea. Well, it was a good idea while it lasted. Let's just say that. It was a good idea while it lasted. Right? What I think would be nice is if people had a 6-hour workday, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because that will be parallel or in conjunction to the hours that our children are at school, right? Because our kids are only at school for like 6 hours, right? Even though, they might have to get out if they have to catch the bus, 2 hours before, the bus comes, just in case the bus comes early. That was something that I did not understand. I did not understand how come, our school buses did not have a schedule, similar to, our transit system. That was something I never understood. I'm like, why does my child have to be at the bus stop for a whole hour or half an hour, waiting on the school bus? The school bus should be timely unless there's an accident, right? So maybe that's the reason why they have them, out there ahead of time. And that way, if there's an accident, they'll still get to school on time. I guess. But today, with GPS, I don't see how that should be an issue, right? It seemed like our school buses definitely should be on GPS, and that our children shouldn't have to be susceptible to inclement weather for long periods of time, or being vulnerable to predators for however long they're sitting out there waiting for the bus. Because I've seen them. I would go out and I would be walking at 4:30, 5:30, in the morning, and I'm watching these kids, at their bus stop, and I'm like, they're just teenagers, right? Some of them, they're not even 100 pounds. And a lot of them, they're very vulnerable. They're spending most of their time, looking at their phones. It's a shame that, we have to adjust our lifestyle so that we can accommodate more safety into it. But, the fact is, predators, they're not walking around, with a sign on their forehead talking about they're a predator. And a lot of people, conveniently refuse to accept the fact that there's a lot of predators out there. And that these people out here did not lose their virginity, with just a classmate, or somebody that's even in the same school system as them. A lot of them, they are being preyed upon by adults, and they'll say, oh, it goes both ways. No, women ain't out here looking for no weenie, Vienna weenie. And men, on the other hand, they don't mind a Vienna weenie. And they definitely don't mind the idea of an innocent violation. But like I said, if we know the bus route, the bus number, it was like, as soon as that bus driver, gets online to start picking up students, they should be tracked. Period. The same way my insurance company tracks every trip that I make. My insurance company with DriveWise, is tracking every trip that I take. And if I was to take the DriveWise off, they will send me a message and tell me, turn back on DriveWise if I want to, get, any kind of, mileage discounts. Right? If we can do it for discounts, we should definitely be able to do it for the safety of our children. Like I said, in my world, things would not be like this. You can go through my videos and you will see how my world would be. And yes, a lot of people will say, my God, you're so controlling. But it's like, why do it if you ain't gonna do it right? Damn, they done tore down a lot of houses, cleared them out completely. Oh my gosh. It's like these homes are old. We might as well build from the ground up. I done seen 5 vacant lots in this neighborhood. This neighborhood is really old. And I guess they're like, no, we don't want these old buildings no more. I don't know. Maybe they can't even build. They can't even build. They can't even rebuild. So, look at this house right here. See that house right there? Now, what they did to the outside with, I don't know if that's sheetrock or what that is on that building. And I love the roof. I love the fact that they did put some tile out there. But what they should have did is they should have put stucco on the outside of that building. And that would be my house. That's what I want to do to my house. Maybe that's the next stage. Maybe they're like, well, we go ahead and utilize this outer layer because it's weatherproof. But then when they want to update it, see, that's what they did. They actually stuccoed their house. Yeah, because that's what I want to do to my house. I want to stucco it and then put, like faux tile roofing on top. Because a lot of these roofs that look like tile, they're not real. They're not like clay tile. They just look like clay tile, but they're a manufactured faux tile roof. Move up. I still want that Krispy Kreme donut too. But I think that Krispy Kreme donut will probably cost $2. So I am drinking a hot protein coffee. I took out a chicken breast in case I wanted to fry up some chicken nuggets. I still have some bean soup left and some chili cornbread left. I got food to eat. Reason why people's spiritual resume is gonna send them to hell. I love being that reason. Okay? I gotta be honest, right? Because definitely, you got to know that you're a warrior, for God's purpose. Right? You have all of these people out here who will sit up here and try to make you feel bad, right? try to make you feel like you need to be underneath them, try to make you feel like, you know, you did so much worse than they ever done, which, you know, it's not true. It's not true. Right? Because I've already posed the question, you know, who out there has no sin that they can cast judgment on somebody else? Especially these men, they cannot cast judgment. Nah, ain't none of them right. Right? They come out wrong. Right? They come out the womb wrong. Right? They just do. And some of them more wrong than others. The ones that are less wrong, they think that all men are the same. And they're not. They're not. A lot of these men are more wrong than they could possibly wrap their head around. Right? Even when they get violated. Right? Even when they get abused. For some reason, they can't see that these men are wrong. Right? So, they may not be the queen of denial, but they the king of denial. Right? They just deny, deny, deny. Already bringing in the Christmas trees. Well, I guess it is mid-November. A lot of people like to have their Christmas trees up by November, by Thanksgiving. That's when they like to have their Christmas trees up. But I don't know why y'all is racing, you know, to try to hold on to these traditions that y'all don't like in the first place. Y'all don't like Thanksgiving, right? Who there want to celebrate the genocide of indigenous people in America? Anybody out there that thinks that it was a good thing, you know, I curse you and I activate my sun energy, that you burn in hell. Yes, I do. Okay? Because if you were going to tell me that this is how it was going to end up being, where we all out here sitting up here trying to kill each other just for a spot to live in, I would say no. Don't come on over here. Get your ass back over there to Europe. Get your ass back over there to Africa. Do that shit over there. Take that shit back over to Asia, bitch. Right? If I had known it would turn out to be like this. Okay? And I still hear people talking about, this is the greatest country on the planet. The greatest what? The greatest demon? The greatest devil? Oh, yeah. That. I will agree with that. The greatest demon, the greatest devil, the most secretive occultist on the planet. Yeah, I would agree. I ain't saying that there ain't no good people. I'm not saying that. But the good people, they're not in charge. The good people, they already done checked out. They checked out. The good people, I know y'all said it. Y'all was like, why? Why is it always the good and beautiful people that have to die first? Y'all said it. Because they was ready to leave this realm. They was ready. Starting to get hungry. Starting to get hungry. I'm glad I got out. I'm glad my doggies, they were such good doggies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Gonna be honest, it is really hard for me to keep staying up all night long, sleeping for a few hours when it gets really cold in the morning. It gets really cold around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes 7. It gets really cold. Then I can go to sleep. It's like, yeah, it's cold enough. I can go to sleep now. And I don't even know what that's about. When I left, I was thinking I might want some fried chicken nuggets. That's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm still gonna eat the soup, and I'm still gonna eat the chili cornbread. But I'm thinking I might want some chicken nuggets, right? Some homemade chicken nuggets. I have some processed chicken nuggets in the freezer, and I'm only keeping those just, I don't know, maybe as a snack that I can give the doggies later on, because, it's processed. It's processed foods. Plus, the chicken that I had cooked, the chicken broth that I had cooked for the soup, the bean soup, the bones are so soft. I was eating the bones. You know how you eat the bones in sardines? It was about as soft as that. Yep. So the dogs, they have some chicken broth. And I don't know if I want to mix that in their food. That's a shame. The most businesses that I've seen pop up have been like automatic car washes. Can you imagine that's your job? Is to work at a car wash? Wow. Who's giving these car washes that kind of loan? These car washes that kind of loan, because they're building them from the ground up, brand new, right? Have to clear out the land and everything. And you know, car washes, they require a whole irrigation, water, you know, plumbing, all of that. Who's giving these guys that kind of loan?
Partners.
We are partners.
Okay. Here's another thing that, you know, I want to talk about, right? In our world, we have all of these people who will come up, right? Level up, you know, bashing the rich. They'll bash the rich, right? But they're coming up. Then when they come up as the rich, they're doing the same thing that the rich had did, right? Walk around all bougie, right? Buying crystal and China, you know, so that they can eat off of the best, you know, cookware, stuff like that, you know. they now are a what do you call it? A critique of products out there. Yes, they are a critique of the products out there, right? They now, without any kind of, specialization or history, want to tell you, what is chic, fashionable, in style. Yeah, because they got money now, right? I've seen them. I've watched them. Like Aaliyah's face, right? Aaliyah's face is now celebrating that she's got 900,000 subscribers. I love her because she's a Gemini. But anyway, she's a beautiful girl, right? She's not too stuffy, she's not very educated, but, she's got that je ne sais quoi, right? She got that je ne sais quoi, that goes, that has opened up doors of the Hamptons to her, opened up doors to where people are having her, make her own perfumes, her own parfum. Yeah. So anyway, I was watching her just a few minutes ago, and I'm so happy that she's, that, she's not caught up in the poverty loop like the rest of us. And that's kind of what we do. We look at another person that's not caught up in the poverty loop, and we vicariously live through them, right? So she's also not only celebrating her 900,000 subscribers. She says she can't even count that far. I believe her, right? But as she's been coming up, now she's a connoisseur of matcha. She's a connoisseur of art and home decor. Yes. Okay? And she's stating that, she's getting ready to move, right? So I suspect, right now she's located in New York or Atlanta, right? And if she's getting ready to move, she's trying to go someplace where the climate is warmer, like the rich people do, right? Which is like how I want to live, right? Now that it's getting ready to get cold, I want to go to a warm climate, right? I want to go to the southern hemisphere where they're getting ready to go in the summertime. Because I live up here in the northern hemisphere, and the northern hemisphere is getting ready to go through winter, right? Because we really can't stay in these states that, kind of have moderate weather all the time, because, they've just been taken over. They've been taken over.